Sales is the most lucrative skill in the world, period. The problem is most sales advice out there today is outdated, cheesy, and could even keep you from the deals that can make all the difference in your career. This is the No BS Sales School, a podcast for entrepreneurs and salespeople who want to master the skill of selling without all the BS. Welcome to the No BS Sales School podcast. I'm your host, Walker McKay. I thought I would share a story today of a client, a guy I used to work with a long time ago. I hadn't talked to him in a long time. He called me, and the poor bastard had been upgraded to sales manager. He is now running the sales team for which he before was the top producer. So they punished him for being the top producer and turned him into the sales manager, which whole other thing. He actually wanted that job, and I think he'll be really, really good in that job. But that's usually a bad move for owners. If you're wondering, don't take your top salesperson and make them sales manager. A couple of reasons why. Number one, it's a whole different skill set to be top producer versus managing people, right? You have the top producer is a maverick, typically want to go do things in a certain way. They'll go close business. They get energy from that, right? They want to go and get out of their comfort zone a lot. And a manager is more about following rules and developing people and helping other people grow, done correctly, and accountability and all those things that top producers often fight. But anyway, this guy wanted the job and now he's got the job, and I think he's doing great in the job. But he called me because he said, man, I'm in a dilemma here. I'm not sure what to do. I said, okay, what you got? He said, well, owners of this agency, they have said to me, we want there to be a certain amount of production for every single producer in the company. We want there to be a minimum level. If they're not hit this minimum level of production, in the first month they get a warning. In the second month, they're gone. I said, wow, okay. So what do you think about that? And he said, well, seems kind of harsh. She goes, some people are doing very, very well, and they've got a nice book they're working on. And I don't know that it's right that we just fire them if after the second month they haven't done the work, they haven't, closed X amount of new business. I said, okay, that makes sense. And I said, what do you think about it? He said, I would rather be able to coach and help these people and see it as a long-term game. I said, well, that seems like a good way to me. But we talked about three different management styles, three ways that people manage a sales team. And I'm sure there are hybrids of these. There may even be another way that I hadn't even thought about yet. But I thought I'd go over with y'all and see if you recognize where you are. The first one is what he was talking about, which is turn and burn. You bring people in, you bring salespeople and you hire them. You say, you need to hit this amount of business bringing in every single month, or in a short period of time, you're going to be gone, right? High pressure, push them in, push them out. This is where you see people as a commodity. You don't care. You realize that there are plenty more people you can bring in the door. Oftentimes what you're doing, especially in the insurance business, is you're sending people out to go sell to their friends and family, and a couple people beyond that. And when they stop doing that, you think your value to me is gone, boom, kick them out the door. Turn and burn. That's one methodology. I think it happens a lot. The second one is more of benign neglect, right? Which is where you bring people in and then you just let them go and do what they want to do. I see this a lot in the real estate business, right? Where people work part-time and things like that. Oh, I've got my license over here. And what it means is you don't really manage them. You assume that maybe some people will do some stuff, some people won't do some stuff. I think it's a belief that most people are inherently lazy. And so you don't expect much from them. And oftentimes then you don't get much from them either. Notice all these things are self-reinforcing, right? The turn and burn model is you just recognize you almost set people up to fail. You set them up to come in short-term, get in, get out, don't care, right? Benign neglect is you assume people are naturally lazy, that most people aren't going to do much, but I'll just bring on a whole bunch of people and eventually there'll be some that make me some money, right? And that's what happens. The third way, which is what this guy and I talked about, was accountability with support. So I teach my clients that while, yes, results, money in the door is super important. I totally get that. And that needs to be something that we watch and we measure. But that's often a what they call a rearward looking metric, right? If somebody has brought in, $100,000 that month, that's what they did last month. It has nothing to do with what's going forward. I would rather have a forward looking metric. And so what I talked about with this guy was, let's, instead of holding them accountable for money in the door, which we need to watch, right? That's important. It needs to be a thing that we follow. But the most important thing we need to look out for is, what's the behavior they're doing on a daily, weekly, monthly basis? How many calls are they making? How many meetings are they setting? And then how many no's are they getting? Then we can tell the kind of business that they're doing. Then we can tell the work that they're putting in. See, there are three parts to success in sales. The first one is the activity. What are the things that they're doing on a regular basis to grow their business? This is based on their goals and their plan. If they're doing behavior and they're not doing the activities, and they're not making sales, then we can figure out, is it an attitude problem? Is there a problem with their belief about themselves, the marketplace, or the company? Where are they psyching themselves out? If we figure out that's not the problem, then we can start looking at their approach, which is the systems and processes they're using, the strategy they're using to get in front of people, and finally, the tactics, the words that they say. Most people focus on the words first. I will tell you that is important. It's the least important of those things. There are plenty of people who suck at their, the tactics, but they make plenty of money. Why? Because they're very strong. We call them behavior animals. They're activity animals. They just make calls. They can set meetings. They'll work their asses off. If you do that, your attitude will be better because you'll have plenty of opportunities. Point being, we have a manager relationship of accountability and support, which means if you're making the calls, you're setting the meetings, doing the work, I, as manager, will help you. I will help you with being a coach for you. I will help you. I'll hold you accountable for those things so that you can reach your goals. This involves, though, investing in people, investing time in people. It means investing your care, your give a shit. It also means you're going to spend more time on the front end picking the right people as best you can, having criteria for hiring people that are going to do the work, that have a likelihood of success, versus the first two, which is everybody's about the same, doesn't really matter. If somebody wants this job, we'll bring them in, doesn't matter. The last part, right, is the hardest way. Accountability and support takes the most work from the manager. And it takes the most trust from the owners, the most investment from the owners. But guess what? If you do that the right way, if you work to screen and just hire the right people, and you set them down a path, you find out what their individual goals are, and help them create a plan and then activities to do to make the plan work, and then you hold them accountable for that stuff, then all of a sudden you'll be helping them reach the goals that they wanted to have with themselves. And point being there, if you help somebody reach their goals, you help them get what they want out of business and out of life, they'll never leave you. Maybe an exaggeration. They might leave you, but as long as they see that you're helping them, it's a whole lot harder for the strong guys, the people that are doing the most. It's harder for them to leave because they see you as somebody who's supporting them, holding them accountable, coaching them, developing them into better salespeople that are people. And that's the goal, right? Over time, if people are doing the work, we do the work back. We pour more into them. So here's what I told my friend, my former client. I said, go to the owners of the company and say, I understand you want to just throw bodies at it and get people in, get people out. Why don't you do this instead? Give me the goal. Tell me how much business you want me to do or us as a company. Make me responsible for that goal. And then let me do it my way. Let me hire the people I want to hire. I'm going to need a budget for training and for help, right? But if you do that, you hold me accountable. Let me do it my way. Scary, right? Accountability. Let me do it my way. Let me develop these people, and long term, it's going to pay off in spades. I'm Walker McKay with No BS Sales. If you're struggling with managing a sales team, or you're trying to figure out how do I build a sales team, or you're a salesperson that says, you know what? Damn it. I should be doing more than I'm doing right now. I didn't sign up for this job to make 60 grand a year. I want to make 600 grand a year or $160,000 a year or whatever that is. And I'm really pissed and I'm ready to fix it. I'm Walker McKay with No BS Sales. Want to have a conversation? Call me, 803-917-2817. Thanks for listening to the No BS Sales School podcast. If you're struggling to close deals, then I want to invite you to take my free mini course, where you'll learn the 7 most expensive sales mistakes that will cost you time, money, and credibility. So be sure to click the link in the show notes or go to www.7salesmistakes.com. That's the number 7salesmistakes.com. Thanks again for listening to the No BS Sales School podcast.